Hello, everyone. So this may be my last one. Boy, what a beautiful night. So just jumping right into it, I've been getting a lot of text messages, email, and all that. And some people say, "Hey, I enjoy your videos." Many friends of mine too. I have a lot of friends on the right, but they're like, "Oh, you bash Trump too much, and you'd be getting a lot more views and a lot more subscribers if you didn't bash Trump so much." Blah blah blah. Republicans, whatever, and that's fine. I mean, I read this. Listen, I'm going to do my own thing. So I can't pander to anyone, and I'm so small anyway. I'm just growing. I just speak from the heart, right? Taper talk. So what I also noticed, a couple of people said like, "Oh, you're real book smart. You're book smart, but you don't have any common sense." Now that's just absolutely wrong. I'll just say that. That's absolutely wrong. The whole thing, like a lot of people who don't read a lot say that all the time, So, I mean, there is a little bit of truth to it with some people. There are some really smart people, like academics, who lack the social graces, if you will. They may be awkward socially. You have that, and then there are some people who are so focused into something real egghead, like maybe they're really into math or philosophy, and then because all their time is focused in this one area, that they kind of dismiss all the other stuff. And I see what you mean. Like let's say the absent minded professor, something like that, right? I mean, I understand what they're saying, but it's usually not the case. Most of the people I know who have really have a really good education, who are really well read and book smart, have common sense. They have more common sense than anybody. So it's just something that people throw out. Now, I'm going to give you an example of someone who perhaps did, in fact, lack in more so social. Well, let me tell you the story. There's a personal friend of mine. His name was Pete. Um, I'm not going to say his last name. I do remember it though. I met him when I was 20 years old. I met him at my father's plant, Kierfod, and I used to work security at night. And Pete was going to school for engineering, and so anyway, real smart guy, but he was shrewd, no question about it. I mean, but here's what it is. He lacked the social graces in some respect. He had problems with women, with girls at the time. We're in our 20s. He just couldn't get dates, and he was a good-looking guy. He was an Italian guy, Pete. Not to say his name, Pete Liconte, and he, very good-looking guy, really smart, came from a really good family, and he was he was going to NGIT, as a matter of fact. Now here's a guy who was, I mean, he wasn't a nerdy guy either. It's just that he somehow, I think we all struggled, when we were 20s with dating, whatever. But here's how, when you looked at Pete, and I'd look at some of his textbooks, this math and engineering, and I was like, whoa, dude. And at the time, I couldn't, it's just hard. And he's just like nothing. And he's like, really? And he'd say, like, he used to say, "You're so much smarter than I am." But then he goes, "You don't understand this?" I go, "No." I mean, now I understand the math, but at the time, and he was just straight A student, NJIT. He ended up getting a job at Singer Kierfon at the time. That's where my father worked as an engineer, and he was like the number one guy. Like, my father said, this Pete Liconte boy, they talked to him. He goes like, "This kid is brilliant." So going back to Pete, we play guitar. All right, so I've been playing guitar forever, and we both loved Rush. That was our thing. We wanted to learn all the Rush songs, and Pete could read music. So he had this, and I could read tab, but I never learned how to read the actual notation. I never really took the time, and Pete could, and he had all the Rush books, and he'd be playing it, And then he's like, "Go ahead, Mike, read." And I go, "I can't." He goes, "I don't understand." Like, well, like, it's right here. Like, you see what I mean? Different types of intelligence. So, by the way, all you need is tab anyway, the whole musical notation. But so the guitar playing analogy, this Pete could play every single Rush song note for note. But when you listen to him, it sounded like shit. It was just so mechanical. There was no soul in it. And here was the most puzzling thing about Pete and the way he played guitar is he couldn't improvise. Like, I didn't even understand it. Like, for me, improvisation comes very easily to me, and even like making up songs, right? So I could write like literally like a half dozen original songs tonight if I wanted to. I mean, not full complete, but I just play around and I go, oh, this sounds good, and it's not perfect, but it's so easy for me, you know. And then improv, I just go into a certain scale, and I don't even think, and it's the simplest thing. And I thought what he was doing, like memorizing these songs and get that was hard for me. But yet Pete would go, I go, Pete, like I don't know, A minor pentatonic. Why don't you just riff on this and I'll play these chords? And he goes, I don't know how to. I go, well, just relax, just do it, man. You know, you know. He couldn't do it. I didn't understand it. It's like I'd say, like, all right, you like Rush. Like, here's an Alex Lifeson piece. Like, you know what he uses. You know what kind of chords he likes, and he likes open. He likes a lot of open chords and notes, and this is the scale. These are the scale he plays. Like, just fucking do it. Improv. He couldn't do it. So I hope this makes sense. Like, here's a guy who perhaps was super, super book smart, straight A student, NJIT, but couldn't get girls and sucked at guitar because he didn't know how to improvise. All right, people, have a great night.